Hey guys, welcome back to another awesome special podcast episode where we have got the 0 to 60 boys. How are you doing, lads?
Very well, thank
Bob,
you.
how are you doing, Hamish?
Very good. So I'm going to leave it to you guys. You introduce yourselves and your names, because if you haven't listened to 0 to 60, I highly recommend you should. So this is the face to the names. Take it away, Liam.
Well, hello, I'm Liam, obviously from Manchester, as a bearded weirdo, as James calls us.
It's accurate.
It is, to be fair, it is accurate.
That's all I do on the podcast.
It is accurate. I've been playing professional football since like Monarch.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's not. You, James?
Yeah, I'm James. I was the captain, as we kept saying, like in Madrid.
The captain.
I've been playing. I was captain. Just literally stealing Captain Phillips lines all day long. But got into playing Fab just after Crew.
Yeah.
And the happy moment of teaching Liam how to play Fab by beating him with Azalea. I'm surprised he ever came back.
Why did you have to bring that up, man? Come on.
He always had to bring that one up. Come on.
First event, 07. I'm like 06 at the time. And then I'm like, I turn up to play James. He's like, you know what? I'm going to play the worst deck in the format and take it easy on you. Pulls that Azalea and just smokes me. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm going home.
Then destroyed me with Turtle Turtle Ninja for months afterwards and ruined it.
So I guess that just leaves me I guess that makes me the third bearded weirdo. So yeah, I'm George anyway. Yeah, I've been playing Fab the shortest time, I guess, and I'm the only one stupid enough here to actually play Ranger at any tournament. So
I've seen your Ranger game, man. It is strong. It is strong.
Thank you very much.
I think that when I first met you, you were at the King. Was it the Kingdom Gaming Invite, or was it the ProQuest Season 1?
Yeah, it wasn't the Invitational. I didn't do that one. It was Season 1. Yeah, I think the Kingdom Game one. I think I top 8'd there, which wasn't too bad of a day at all.
No, I saw that and I was just like, Jesus Christ! Lexi still bloody slamming it out then. So yeah, I remember that was the first time I saw you, and I was just like, well, if we have met any other time, Christ, this is awkward. But that was the first time that I saw.
No, I don't think so.
I think it was the first time I probably actually spoke. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I don't think we've had the chance to actually have a game yet, which hopefully will change our ProQuest. But yeah, that was probably about the first time.
It's quite weird, isn't it? I mean, how often have you guys battled into each other when it comes to tournaments? Do you actually find we never even encounter each other, or do you actually encounter each other all the time?
I seem to play Liam all the time.
Let's get a lot of friendly fire. Especially just around the Manchester lot, rather than necessarily between ourselves. You two end up playing each other way more than me. I'm down in the baby pool. I'm like 3 losses or something, and I'm going, do you know what? I'll let those two do the good thing, and I'll watch.
Fair. So you guys came top 4 in the Madrid Calling team event, which first and foremost, congratulations, dudes. That's like crazy. That well, it's not crazy. You guys are very good players. Clearly,
we could agree it's crazy.
No, but
it's crazy.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's mental that you guys even got that far. No, but it's really cool. I was so stoked to hear that you guys got into the top 4. I mean, like, I know when it comes to these sort of big tournaments that are like, you know, the one and done big events, there's a huge amount of skill, a lot of time for practicing, and not to be understated, just like a large amount of luck that sort of goes into that one day. That it's just these moments, isn't it? And to be able to just achieve that, it's awesome, man. So yeah, first, congrats.
Thank you very much.
It's quite a strange thing for us, because a bit like you in that we don't actually like Blitz.
No, yeah, we've got a lot to be said for Blitz now. We've slagged it off a lot in the past, but yeah, we might have to take some of that back now.
It's weird, isn't it? I would like to just say Blitz it's not my particular forte of an event. It's fine, but it's just too quick. It's too quick. I think sometimes I prefer a game that has a bit of back and forth, and sometimes with Blitz it's not It's not usually a back and forth. It's usually, did I get the big move off? And usually when that executes, it's kind of over, really. But in a team event, though, I mean, that was actually quite interesting because I actually think that a blitz event in a team like format it's got a different narrative to it. If you were to go there on your own, and you would very much go, right, we've got 10 rounds of can I pull off my move before they pull off their move. It very much feels like when you win, you're like, all right, cool. But when you lose, you don't feel like, I don't know. I don't know where this is a lot of the questions I'll be asking you guys, whether how the meta is now. But just in those days, you can just sort of just go, yeah, if I win or you win, you kind of just feel a little bit like, sorry, dude, I guess I pulled it off before you did. In that meta at the time. But when it comes to a team one, you're kind of sitting with your mates. You could pull your move off, and you're kind of like, cool, but it's not over yet. We've got all three of us have got to sort of line this up and somehow manage this. I mean, that's my take on it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
To be honest, I think I completely agree. I think if I was playing that calling all on just normal standard blitz rounds, it would have been nowhere near as like entertaining or worthwhile as it was than it was in a team event. Because if I lose and then I can sit there in between my two teammates and watch them play, or if games are over, then it's all about like the game that's in the end and stuff like that. It's really I feel different, but you do it together, it makes it way more worthwhile.
Yeah.
It's all the interactivity as well, because obviously in a team blitz, it's not just a case you can just watch, you can talk, you can actually help your mates if you can see they're struggling or they might have missed something. There was one of the games that we played where George spotted something the opponent had done, and so actually you can't do that. And that then led to being able to change it. It was really quite strange.
So is it kind of, it feels kind of backwards, really, from the sound of things to what you're kind of used to do when you're going into Road to Nationals, Pro Quests, what we're used to. Do you know what I mean? If someone came over and said, "No, you can't do that," you'd be like, "Whoa, why'd you know?"
Yeah,
and that's what.
And this one, you're like, "Yeah, it's kind of fun."
Yeah, it was strange. I mean, it was literally, I think, in the case of the calling, you could once you finish your game, you could move up to your, like obviously that's one player sat next to you. I was on the end, so Liam was Brooks was in the middle, being the captain, and Liam was on the far end. But you could even shift up and sit between the two of them then, and then obviously help them with their game. Discuss what's in their hand. Even if the opponent made a rules mistake or anything like that, you could point out. Like I say, we had a case of just somebody obviously trying to activate the Brave Forge braces without hitting, so it was just like obviously just a mistake on their part, but obviously we realised that.
Yeah.
You could point it out. It's a weird scenario, but we really enjoyed Team Blitz, I think, as a whole.
Yeah.
Right. That's
more than we were expecting.
No, go on.
I think it really. It's as a format, like you say, it's very much you one hit and you're done. That's what it felt like, especially in previous metas. It has changed, I think, a little bit with Viscera not just killing you with rune chants on like turn 2 or whatever.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, that one. But
also that also changed though, especially with the team dynamic, because there can only be one Oldhim.
Yeah.
So across the team, you have to have 3 different heroes. Like I took Kasai, Liam, Briar, and obviously George took Lexi, and it was just so you're never gonna get.
Wait, so none of you brought Oldhim?
Nope.
No, we were the only top 4 team across all of the callings that didn't have an Oldhim.
What? I am actually generally shocked by that. So wait, what was your call on that? How did you?
So basically,
on that one?
On our team, I would have been the Oldhim player, and I've played a lot of Oldhim, and I think I'm very good at it. But the problem was, the version I was going to take was very bad into Kano. So
right.
So you pitch that. There's basically you give time for Kano to pitch stack his deck, and he blows you out because as Oldhim, I was playing like 17 defense extractions in my deck, and then you also lost to Rhinar, and you also couldn't beat Kasai inside 30 minutes. Well, I couldn't anyway. So I was like, this was like 2 days before the event, so I was like, scrap Oldhim. I'll just take Briar because I know Channel Mark Heroic Briar beats Fatigue Oldhim, and it ended up working out.
Yeah. Oh well, sick. I mean, so I don't know how the sort of structure team composition thing works. So you have a captain. That captain's name is on the sheet, and basically whoever is the captain and wherever they are in the sheet, the other two is not going to be shown up on the actual player name sheet. You're just part of that team captain. How does the matchup bit work? Does when you're going to sit down, you're on table whatever, but you're on table 1 because you're doing really well, you're in the top 4, whatever, and then your opponent comes. How does the seating arrangements work? What happens there?
I mean, I'll take that one if you want.
Go.
So the way that worked is you'd each get assigned. Each player was assigned like A, B, or C, and you would play A, B, or C on the opposing team. So B always being the captain, they would always be in the middle,
right?
And then you had A on one side, C on the other, and you just play your opposite number on that. We each got given an armband of a different color, and that would then basically just assign you to your opponent. So once you're obviously registered at a certain letter, you couldn't switch it around or anything like that. And just the captain's name would appear on gem. That would assign you the table. You go to the table, sit down across from your opponent, the same armband.
That's really cool, man. I mean, I've done team tournaments before where you meet up with the opponents, and then basically it was another thing for other games, and there was a UK team championship that a good friend of mine, Barry, and his that used to run. And he would go. It was a 3-man team versus another 3-man team, and you kind of just go right. The captain. You flip a coin to see who would decide first. So the one captain, the captain that won the coin toss, can go right. I'm going to choose. This guy fights this guy, and then the other person will then go right. Well, then I'll pick effectively the next 2 because. And then I'll face that guy, and then the last 2 have to sort of face up against each other. And it kind of just made that dynamic of like who's going to be good into what sort of matchup and stuff. So I thought that was a pretty interesting one. But in this, it's still got this random element of like you still don't know who you're going to face off against. You can't plan it too hard. Your Oldham could just been like, oh.
Yeah,
I'm up against Prism.
It was a bit of guesswork, really. I know there was some discussion before the calling about where people would seat their Oldham, whether it'd be the captain and be in the middle because the game's going to take longer, or whether they'd put like their aggro decks out on the outside or in the middle again, so they finished earlier. But apart from that, to be honest, it was very, very random what you got paired on to do in the end.
That sounds awesome. So. I suppose really, how much testing did you guys do, or did you just take your comfortable CC heroes and made them blitz? I mean, what was your process on forming up your roster of heroes?
So it's a bit for me because I played Doreen CC. I pretty much always have, except for recently a bit of Bolton. I wanted to take Kasai.
Mm-hmm.
I did basically just primarily tested on that. Obviously. Has played a lot of Oldham, so about to hammer that really hard, thinking it's going to be a match we're going to see a lot. Obviously, George playing Lexi was something that plays a lot in CC. There's a lot of experience of, but I think we just looked at it and wanted to play stuff that we're going to have fun playing, because going into it, I think we had very little expectations of this. The world premiere was going to be the main thing, and getting the new cards and playing with that.
Yeah.
But then obviously, as we played, and I think being on decks that we were familiar with and played a lot with and enjoyed, probably one of the things that really helps, rather than trying to shoehorn in a Rhinar between us, because we think that might pair into their Oldham if they're both on C to C.
So you basically, from the sounds of things, then you kind of just executed the heroes that you feel comfortable enjoying. You wasn't trying to learn new meta pick heroes like Oldham and Rhinar and stuff like that. You're like, I enjoyed this, I'll play this.
Exactly. It was.
Yeah, we very much
really
ended
just
up
trying
being
to test into heroes that we were.
An off-meta team anyway, so yeah, we ended up being quite off-meta on the whole. But yeah, I mean, it helped, to be fair as well, that I think we had a reasonable match-up into a lot of the decks that we expected to see there. I think we all felt fairly comfortable on the whole into Rhinar, into Oldham, and I know Brooks, you were not hoping to run into too many Oldhams. Again, as well into Kano though. I think both Liam and I were fairly comfortable into that matchup. So yeah, I think that helped a lot. It just meant we could take our comfort picks, because I think they were reasonably well placed.
Yeah. So you didn't test much any other heroes else apart from, you just went right. Was it kind of like, this is who I'm playing, I'm just gonna jam with them?
Apart from me, I went through like 3 different heroes because
Oh,
I'm like the most indecisive person in the world. Like if I'm going through a tournament preparation, I'll be like 15 heroes, like doing them all multiple times. But this time it was just I started on Dash. I was like, it's not really doing it.
Mhm.
I'll play Oldhim because I love playing Oldhim. I was like, it's not really working. I was like, fuck it, I'll just play Prior.
That's
That was
it,
about
man.
it.
So whose back is the sorest? When I say that, I mean who was carrying?
Oh, these boys were carrying day one.
Ooh,
I think.
yeah,
Someone's got to have a bad
you,
back.
you two was you two were 6-1 after day one.
Oh, that's sick, man.
yeah, we were. I think you had the better record in day 2, though.
Yeah, I got
Wow.
carried hard in day 2. I flopped like the first 4 rounds. It's awful.
Oh, how does
Yeah, you
that
didn't have a great
feel?
start.
How does that feel? Like, as for when I'm sure when you as long as you get your 2 and 1, you're all kind of fine. But it's interesting as a team, and I'm sure you guys are proud, so there's no real actual hard feelings. But is there ever that moment when you're kind of just like, oh, and am I like, sorry guys, is that weird? I'll do better next time, sort of feeling, or was it kind of just like, jibing like you suck, and you're like, yeah, I know, but
I was fully on tilt day 2 because like I think we won the first round and we was like it's fine, and then I lost like the next 3, and it was really getting to me because I was like we lost 2 of those rounds. I was like if I'd have just won the game, we'd have been in a far more better position.
right.
And then these 2 are like more comforting me rather than taking the piss out of me because I'm like really really like oh come on.
I
But no,
know.
it was good.
Is that a better experience to go through with friends? Because sometimes you go to events with friends, but you sit down on your own. This time you went with friends and played with friends. Is that a better experience to go through in a tournament?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I
100%.
I mean,
think
I'm saying it literally sounds way better.
yeah, I mean, I think it helped that we didn't go in with the expectation of winning, right? I mean, I think no one would have been disappointed if we'd have flamed out at like 0-3, and no one would have been blamed for that. It would have, we'd have been quite happy to do it. Liam's looking at me like you're crazy now, but
Oh, noise in the background. Sorry, it was the motorbike.
sure,
Oh, that's all right.
of course it was, mate. Of course it was. But yeah, I think we'd have been absolutely fine if it had all gone horribly wrong as well. So yeah, it was nice to not have that expectation demand.
So when the Swiss rounds were finished, where did you place?
Third.
Third. All right.
Yeah,
So when
after
you're
day 1 we were the top seed, but after
Oh.
day 2, yeah, we were third.
How are you feeling after day 1?
I was stressed. I was so stressed
Confused.
because like the last game,
No,
like
that's
the last
really-
2 rounds for me was I got deck check in the second to last round on day 1.
Right.
So my game started after the rest of the team. So they'd started, and then my game started, and we had 2 bad matchups. Like George Lexi was going to OG Bravo, and Kano was going into Kasai.
All right.
So I was like, if one of these win and one of these loses, all the pressure's on me, and I'm playing into Oldhim.
Oh god. Right.
And then, so we won that round anyway, and then we got into the next round, and I was against the new Dory, which I have no idea how this works.
Right.
And I've got like
It's in classic
whole
battles,
people just watching me, and then like one of us lost, one of us won, and then this was just going. I was like 2 games in a row where it's like this round's on me again. And then luckily enough, James next to me pointed out the winning line in my hand. Otherwise, I'd have missed it and blocked differently.
Right. Well, it's that you're not on your own though, are you?
Exactly. You're not. You think sometimes it's all on you, and it's not. Your team's there with you still.
That's sick, man. That sounds really cool.
The last turn that I think that you had, Liam, was the epitome of why I think team event really works. In that George noticed that he'd activated his braces when he couldn't, so that meant he had to only defend a little bit less.
Right.
And I noticed in Liam's hand that actually if he took 1 damage, went down to 1, he turned off the skull cap and then just hit him with Rosetta Thorn with a rune chant and won. And but obviously under the stress, if you're playing that normally in a normal top 8, you're on your own, you might miss stuff like that because you're so focused on what you're doing. Wow. And that's why I think it was brilliant. Like I say, doing it with friends is just icing on the cake, to be honest.
So we're into day 2. You're hyped, top table, and we'll go up to nearest to the end point of the round. How soon? I mean, I don't know how many rounds it was day 2, but how many wins did you need to get to clinch into top 8?
Memory says it was 5 rounds. I think, wasn't it? I was on day 2.
Yes.
Yeah, so I
We
think
were really hoping it was 3.
we were really hoping it was 3 because we had a good record, obviously being top seed, and then
Yeah.
we're just hoping we'd be able to, like, 3 rounds, we'd get like 1 or 2 wins, we'd be sorted, absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think at 5 we'd worked out we needed, was it what, to
3
3-2?
wins?
Yeah. I think the worst we could do on that day, and potentially still do it.
Yeah. So when
yeah,
you got so did you 3-0 or what? How did that work?
1-2, and then we had to win like the next 2 games. I think it was.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
We didn't do it easy. We didn't make it easy for ourselves.
But
No.
when you found
really
out,
didn't.
how was that? When you found out you're in
I
top
think I was
8?
on the. I think
well,
I
yeah,
was
when we hit the top
almost on the
4.
verge of tears.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's top 4, isn't it? Not top 8. So when you
Yeah.
got to top 4,
It's even less.
that's like how was
It's,
that feeling?
Just before our last game, there was rumours going around that it didn't matter what happened, that the top 4 couldn't change because of all the different tiebreakers and gem stuff. But I think when we finally got last game, it was a surreal moment because we beat one of the UK teams.
Oh right.
But it was this really surreal moment of, because I've literally, like I say, I've never really done much with Fab. I enjoy playing it, but I never want to achieve it. And literally just going, shit, we've actually done this. When you get the gold called for legendary, you get a PTI, there's cash. It was just this moment of actually going, shit, I don't know what to do now.
I sympathise. I know the feeling that when the day is going to that point of when you sort of think to yourself, it'd be cool, wouldn't it? I mean, it's not going to happen, but it'd be cool, right? If it could, and then it is, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? It's crazy.
It
It's
was
just this moment of going. You see some of the other players who were in the top 4. You know, there's obviously Pablo, one like the Pro Tour, who we beat in round 1.
Oh wow!
And stuff. And it was actually first round. It was one of the funniest moments of me, and we all sat down to shake hands. So I sort of look over at who George is playing and go, "Oh shit, that's Pablo."
How was that?
George, he had no clue.
Yeah. I apologise to Pablo after the fact, but I did not recognise him slightly. It's just like, oh, I introduced myself and what's your name, Pablo? Oh, okay, cool. Everything else, yeah. He was playing Kano, and the game lasted, I think, to turn 2, and I won. It was a close game, but yeah, I won. And then afterwards, he was, won the round. Walked away from the table. He's like, "Yeah, you were playing the Pro Tour champion, Pablo Pinto." I was like, "Was I really?" I'm glad you didn't tell me before the game.
You would have been like,
really hoping
he won the Pro Tour. All right.
I would really wish you'd actually asked him and gone, "Have you played much Fab before?" He'd just look at you and gone,
Playing along.
Have you played much Fab? Well, if he sold his Pro Tour winning card, he couldn't show it off, right?
Exactly. He's lost all proof. That's it.
Yeah. But
There's an article or 2 on the LSS website.
You just like, I can't read.
I just didn't know. Everyone, it was a shame we all had to wear masks because of the COVID stuff. So
There you
that was
go.
a bit annoying for the day, but
It's a great excuse.
usuals.
So, so you got into the top 4. You played your first round and had in the top 4, and I heard that your boys got knocked out on that one. So, kind of, how did you feel after that? Was it kind of like still going like, oh, it doesn't matter, PTI got a swag, all cool, or did you see the final? It's just there.
It didn't matter to us. I think we said once we made top 4, we just said any of the wins after this is just a bonus.
Yeah,
we came here, we massively exceeded our own expectations. Just go ahead and just enjoy it now.
Yeah.
It was against a team we'd already played as well, who'd beaten us in the previous round, so we knew it was going to be a tough matchup. And if obviously the parents had been different and that sort of thing, you always kind of have that little dream and go, well, if we'd had Pablo's team, which we'd already beaten, and then you can
live in hope, right? And what ifs and buts. But at the end of the day, you got there. Now, what did you get? What was your swag?
So we ended up with $500 each.
Yeah,
which is obviously lovely. Pays for the trip, pay for a nice meal that night.
I bet.
Obviously a PTI, so that obviously means we can either go to using it for Lille or Worlds something, which was going to be really good fun. And then obviously the gold called for legendary, which was on each, which was really nice because we were all joking around which ones we wanted.
Well, which ones did you get?
I got Crow Seeds.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really good.
I got Spellbound Creep as the Doomblade player that I never ever will be. But I'm not going to complain 'cause it looks
Yes, money though.
gorgeous.
It's a nice one though. It really is nice.
That's very good. I'm jealous.
And yeah, I got very lucky, and I actually pulled Shock Charmers, which was absolutely fucking perfect. Yeah.
What do you? What's your? I mean, what's your plan? Sell, keep, what?
I'm personally very, very divided. I pulled the dream one I want, and as much I want to sell it, but also at the same time I'm quite tempted just to keep it.
Yeah, I know. I
mean,
know.
Mine's getting sold. Hopefully, it pays for the flights to go to Worlds with the PTI, which will be way more than I thought I'd do, which would be an awesome trip.
Yeah,
and then eventually announce where it is.
And what about yourself, Liam?
I think I want to keep it, but I think part of me wants to sell it just to fund a bit more fab.
Yeah,
especially when I'm not working at the moment. So I was like, this kind of helps me pay for the future trips. So,
that's fair enough, man. I mean, Crown of Seeds as well. That's a hot card. That to me sounds like an easy sell.
It should be, right? Just got to find the right person.
That's true. So what was the atmosphere? So you've done all that. That's congratulations. That's sick. Madrid. What was the atmosphere like?
Strange. I think it was weird because I think after we came back from New Jersey, like New Jersey's like atmosphere was surreal to me.
Right.
Like I've never been in a room full of like 1,500 like gamers just all competing against each other for in different tournaments on different sides of the room.
Mm.
When we got to Madrid, it was like I don't know if you've ever been to the NEC, just one of their warehouses.
Yeah.
It's like a quarter of the room just taken up. That's it.
Oh.
So like the atmosphere was kind of flat.
So
I was expecting way more people.
Was there just like a huge empty chasm of a space?
Yes.
Yeah, and you had to walk through it from the door to get to the tables where we were playing. So there was just a lot of empty space, and then obviously the area that they'd set up.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. Yeah. It's that you've been to Expo, haven't you? I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is. And you do go into that bit, and there's like hello. It is weird having a huge space, but okay. So it's the actual room and that massive space was a bit weird, but when you actually, what about the vibe of the people who actually got to the table? All good.
Oh, yeah, the atmosphere was great. Everyone was excited, obviously, for the premiere, and everyone we played, I think for all of us, were absolutely fantastic. We had great opponents. Met loads of great people from all over the place. I think there was even some people in the US that had found it cheaper flying over to Madrid than going to Vegas. So
okay,
yeah, we ended up having quite a mix of people there, but it was a fantastic experience playing. But it was just a little bit of a shame the venue was, like you say, the atmosphere inside the venue wasn't quite like Jersey.
No, that's fair enough. So okay, that's Madrid. It's awesome that you guys. It must have been even wilder, right? That you boys as a group who do this amazing podcast together. It's also that sort of team spirit as that. I want to move on to your podcast, which, by the way, is one of my most favorite podcasts that I listen to. I tune into it every single time because it's literally Northerners chatting hella shit, and it's my jam. And I just love it's the accent, it's the vibe, it's the approach, it's just everything I love to hear about Fab. So yeah. Your podcast 0 to 60. If you haven't checked it out, go and check it out. If American people love hearing British people, if you enjoyed what we were doing, trust me, you'll fucking love what these guys are doing. These guys are fucking hilarious. So seriously, if you're an American, go check these guys out. And you don't have to be American, just be anyone. So how did that
enjoy listening to Fab content?
Yeah. What spurred that? Do a podcast? Is it always been something you wanted to do? How did this come about?
So I do a podcast for work, which is nowhere near as interesting. Actually, doesn't get as many listeners as the 0 to 60 one does now. But
right.
It was actually born out of when Everfest was getting revealed.
Mm-hmm.
And I distinctly remember one night we stayed up until 3 a.m. I can't remember the channel top of my head. We just chatted nonsense. non-stop, just between, obviously we've done an armory, I think just beforehand, we were talking about Starvo, we were talking about what we think was going to go into the deck, and these potions got revealed. We were all incredibly disappointed, lost out on about 4 hours sleep to see Potion of Clarity or something dropped in. I was like, Jesus Christ, what have we done?
It's kind of a sign, isn't it? The Potion of Clarity. You're like, should have gone bed.
It was this thing because it had 3 cards, so I think it's going to be good. It's going to be like some series of things.
Was it Outcast Haven?
I think it might have been, actually.
Yeah, Outcast Haven. I distinctly remember they get 3 spoilers every time, and I remember they went, potions.
Yeah, there you go. That's the thing, you have to try and be hype about these things, but obviously there's only so much to do. But we kind of just said after, what should we just recorded this? You know, we could just post it because I listened a lot to you guys, listened a lot to Arsenal Pass, a lot of driving, listening to people talk about a game I really enjoy. So, and it was kind of when there's quite a few podcasts. Obviously, there's a lot more even now. But sort of just thought, actually, why don't we just record this? Because I've already got the tools to do it through work. And that was really where we started, and then we battled around with names for a bit, trying to work out what to call it.
Yeah, who thought of 0 to 60? Yes,
it was me. Basically, the reason was our conversations went from 0 to 60.
I love it.
Started off dead flat, and then we ended up going off on like rants or like people really annoyed or people really happy about our decision. So I was like, why don't you just call it 0 to 60?
There you go. Because a lot of people give it a tie-in name, right, to a card or phrasing from the game, right? And sometimes you want to know, is there a story behind the name, or did you just like the sound of it? So it's cool to know that that's what 0 to 60's come from. So yeah,
it was literally just chatted nonsense for hours, and then because of how. Obviously had this by seeing these 3 potions at stupid o'clock in the morning, being pissed off. That's where we had the segment at the end, which was Vexed Malice just taking another card name and saying, "This is what we're pissed off about. We're just gonna have a rant."
Yes,
I've had plenty of like Helm of Sharp Eye and all these stuff that I just really don't like, but it really was just we love talking about the game. Talk absolute nonsense most of the time. Might as well record it, see if people want to listen to it. Because if it entertains people a little bit, then we'll take it.
That's it. I mean, that's literally what it's all about. Half the time, you just sort of think, well, if one person likes it, and by the way, I'm at least one, which I know you got more. It's kind of nice, isn't it, to sort of just go. To just throw something out, and it's a bit of history for yourself, isn't it? Like, even if you got whatever and you're done, you can actually at least say to yourself, "Hey, that was a cool moment. I documented a piece of history about my time in this space." And then you'll look back at this in how many years, even then, and just go, "Oh, yeah, remember we used to do all that." Like your dad used to get the video camera out when he was in a band or some shit, and you just kind of think, why would you do that? Why would you film yourself on a stage with 2 people? Back in, I don't know, 1970 or 80 something. But now I know. I get it now. Now we're just recording ourselves on a computer talking about fucking cardboard.
Expensive cardboard.
Yeah.
not just cardboard.
My son will be like, "You want to see my dad when he was 30? Look."
Look and get really excited about this card. And I think you just go through stuff that you just enjoy the moment of doing it, and spending time with people you enjoy spending time with. We met through playing Fab. We've travelled to 2 countries now. God knows how many it'll be. By the close of this year.
Cool.
And, doing stuff like the team events, and obviously, see how you Simon and Dan are, and
thank you.
outside the push the point dice, which we've got beef with.
Yeah, we've got problems with that dice.
What's the matter with it? What's the matter with you? What are you saying? What's wrong with my dice?
George.
Liam's got this. Liam's got it. He's the only one who's got one, and it always rolls a 6. I'm sorry, it's just not. He tries to roll it every time he wants to go first, and it always rolls a 6.
He goes first.
I'm banned him from using this dice now. That's it.
He's now famously banned in our armies from rolling the push the point dice because he just ended up going first.
The funniest part about all this, I was watching Simon Denham play in New Jersey, and he was playing Reiner, and he had like 4 cards. He's like 1 to 4, and then 5-6 reroll, and he was rolling a push to point dice. It rolled 6 like 6 times in a row, and he just couldn't make a discard. And I was just like, this is why I'm banned from rolling it in my armories.
Well, I must have given away the good ones because I've actually only got 2, despite the fact that we've got. You think we've just got this load? We don't have any left, and I've only got 2 dice left. I can't roll past a 2.
I tell you what, swap it with Liam's one, and you'll be fine.
Okay, yeah, if you
and then he can have one of your terrible ones, and that'll be okay, and then he'll be able to roll it again.
Liam, do you want one of my terrible?
I'll stick to the one I've got, thanks.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. That's the one I put in the microwave.
It's just but it's
no one's going to allow you to roll it now, mate.
No.
That's the thing. It's like if he ever plays, like I don't know why he didn't play KO in the thing. So he wouldn't
Yeah.
every bloody game.
Yeah, I might have to try that as an experiment one day and just go into a blitz armory and just roll KO.
He's like,
Make everyone on tilt.
you'll be sitting there going, no, I don't want to be DQ'd over a dice roll, man. The guy will come in and go like that. Get out of here, microwave boy. I see you and your bloody crack dice. Push the point, we'll get banned. So, what is the plans? Have you got for 0 to 60? It's a podcast that's on Spotify. Do you have it on YouTube as well? Is there? It's mainly an audio based content, isn't it?
It's soon to be on YouTube. We do have a YouTube channel, but it's underutilized. I'll phrase it that way. I think really the plan is to keep doing it. We're really getting into actually doing videos with it. We never want to be, like the Arsenal pass and doing really serious stuff because it's just not how we work. It's not how we roll. So we just want to enjoy doing what we do. So I think, a lot of people came up and said, it was a really nice moment where someone from Denmark came up and gave us these frostbite tokens because he'd listened to the podcast that his brother had hand painted the Danish flag in the corner.
Yeah.
So it'd be just nice for people to, obviously to put faces to voices kind of thing and being able to just carry on doing what we do because we do just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like I say, chatting. We're good at chatting shit, basically.
And this is why you need to tune in because these guys can just ad lib and roll with it, and they're fucking hilarious. So, to be honest, I could 0 to 60 this with you guys and just go on all day. I think it's a good time to wrap it up there. Unless there's any sort of final bits you want to throw out there, Mike Shaw's.
I just want to say thanks for having us on. It was one of my goals at the start of the year to be on Push the Point because it's a podcast that I've really appreciated since I've got into the game. So it's an honour to be on here, to be honest. So thank you.
And he's not just saying that for now. He did say that. I think when we actually got into the top 4, he said wanted to top 4 an event. I want to be on Push the Point.
Oh, that's sick, dude.
Goals for Fab.
If you soon realise we're just a load of blokes just playing the game and we just chat crap. I honestly, dude, to hear that it means a lot. So thank you so much for those kind words because I know exactly how you guys feel. It's just we meet up, we talk, and we just do this. We don't do anything more different than that. We just chat shit, and and it's kind of wild that people like it. And I can see you guys getting into that same. You've got fans that you won't know, and then they'll say shit that you're not ready for, like that, and you'll be like, "Oh, what the fuck? That's really cool." So, no, thank you so much. Those words really do mean a lot.
I just wanted to basically echo that. Just thanks for having us off. Like I say, I've listened a lot to you boys and had some really good chats with Simon and Dan and yourself at events and stuff. So, yeah, hopefully we'll catch you at a few more, and we'll have you a team blitz match if you want against you boys.
Yeah, I tell you what, we should make that. We should do that. Make that as a thing. I'll probably I'm going to get battered, but
Battle of the Podcasts. It's on.
Oh, right, okay, that's it. It's game on. That is. We've got to make that happen. Road to Nationals. You guys hype for? Are you down Northampton end, or are you sticking it up north?
Not sure for the Road to Nationals actually, because I don't know which one's a blitz and which one's a CC, but
I don't think there's no blitz.
Kind of travel around a bit.
Yeah, draft.
No, sorry, blitz. Draft.
Oh
yeah. I know what I'm talking about occasionally.
Yeah. So, is there any Northampton ones you're coming to? Because if you are, I'll see you there. If not, are you just? I'm sure there's loads happening up in Manchester.
Yeah, I think we're sticking fairly local, aren't we? I know you guys are considering other things as well for similar weekends. I believe there's a Utrecht calling that you potentially go into.
I'll see you there then.
I'll definitely see you there then.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm going.
I'll definitely see you then.
Yeah, that'd be sick, man. There we go. I'll see you, if I don't see you at RTN, I'll see you at Utrecht.
There you go.
And we'll be drink. We'll have a lovely beer. I'll get you a stout. I know you enjoy them.
Oh no! Don't save your fucking money. Seriously, I am not traveling all the way there for. I'd rather just like open my mouth in the rain, mate. It's fucking. Bleh. Right, leave it there. Right, guys.
No, thanks, Hamish. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.